You are welcome to this program on achieving academic excellence among the youth. It's being presented by Dr. Jaja. This is a modulus course. A course across everyone, whether in the secondary, primary, university, masters and doctorate programs. Everyone that has to do with reading academics needs this information. It's a research that has cut across many fairs. I happen to be a trained counselor from the UK, a researcher and also a teacher. The strategies to be named that were being presented here has enabled certain fellows who had nothing before to climb the peak of academics, or in life, or in business. We're going to see such fellows. It is a study that will change one's lifestyle forever. Wherever one is now does not mean that is the end of it. And that is the essence of this study. I want to introduce us to what we call the iron law. This iron law is very important. The iron law of cause and effect states that if you build on what successes others have made, you will double your own success. But if you don't venture into it, you remain where you are. That's why people like Albert Einstein, Bill Gates, and of course in our contemporary time, Dangote of Africa has set the ball rolling for everyone who think of ascending, changing the class status to acquire that. We may not think of underestimating ourselves. Don't think of underestimating yourself. Don't only dwell on the past. The past is hurting. But according to Proverbs 22 verse 9, do you see a man diligent and skillful in his duty? He will stand with kings and not with mean men. That is to say, the sky is the limit. Sir Albert Einstein failed his common exam. He thought that was the end of it, but put some extra effort. At the end of the day, the status of this man changed. A man that was denied opportunity even to teach as an ordinary classroom teacher grew in knowledge, in fame, that people begged him to accept professional chair. He refused. He became a Nobel Prize winner. He became an international figure because of knowledge. In the contemporary poets of Africa, Professor Chikobi, who became a renowned mathematician, failed mathematics first, second, third, and determined, I will go through this thing, and he made it. He ended up being a professor in mathematics. What am I saying? That you fail something once or twice is not to say, no, let me end it here. There's still future. There's still bright tomorrow. But to achieve some of these things, self-management is very important. How do you manage yourself? We have to be conscious of ourselves. We have to stand and take control of ourselves. Learn when to relax. Learn when to rest. Learn when it is time to work. You don't use time to walk to sleep. There's a time to sleep. There's a time to walk. Be confident about yourself. And that is how you progress. Mental health. Very important. Self-control. Self-determination. What is this life? We have no time to stand and stare and gaze at others. Self-control. Learn to manage yourself and then be decisive. Self-esteem. Learn to respect yourself. We're in a society where people care much about others, they don't care about themselves. When we learn to respect ourselves, people will learn to also respect you. Don't bring yourself down. Always be positive about yourself. And when you find those negativity, pray and seek ways on how to upgrade it. You can be upgraded. Human relations. We cannot be an island. No one is an island. So, we must learn how we can get on with others. Accept others. Don't act on what I may call a frozen evaluation because we've been told this person is this way. Want to end it that way. No! Accept people with an open mind. Be open-hearted. And don't be selfish. Some physical things are involved, like physical health. Sleep is important in everything that has to do with this life. Some persons believe that they can walk 24 hours. It's not possible. You're definitely going to break down. Even the car needs to be stopped, water added, or even oil and all that is being checked. So, we need to have good time of rest. By the way, what's the best time to sleep? How many hours do we need to sleep? If you learn to sleep 4 hours in a day, I think you're hurting yourself. We need a minimum of 6 to 8 hours daily to have rest, so that we can be of a right mind, right frame of mind. The next point is food. We need good food. It's not just like in Africa where we have a popular food of the heavy ones. The light ones are also very, very good, very nutritive. It gives us what the body needs. But weight is a problem when we evaluate ourselves. If you don't finish the whole quantity of food because of saying it, let's eat like there's tomorrow. Exercise. The body needs exercise. The body needs fine-tuning. The body needs adjustment. And if the body becomes fixed, then there's problem. Exercise helps us to reorganize ourselves, reshape ourselves, and strengthen things in our body. Very, very, very important indeed. Another point is goal sets. This could have taken me almost a whole day to talk on, but because of the time we have, I will just mention briefly about goal sets. No one can make success without a goal set. The fundamentals of any achievement is what goals do you have. Written goals, achievable goals. Goals need to be evaluated from time to time and to see whether there's progress. And where we're lagging behind could be adjusted. Goal sets. It could be monitored on a monthly or bi-monthly, if it is for a year or for a month and all that. Very, very important. Since this is about academics, in academics we need timetable. And We have 168 hours in a week. How many hours do we read? Do we use in reading? Taking note that we are going to sleep 6 to 8 hours. We are going to go to work. We are going to do one thing or the other. Invariably, how many hours do we have? Are we sure for 8 hours? But if you have like 10 hours in a week to study, fantastic. How do we make use of the 8 hours or 10 hours we have? Let's have time to read, to study, so that we can make the difference we want to make. Time of study. What time of the day do we have for our studies? If we say we have the 8 hours or 10 hours, what time are we programming ourselves for this study? It's not any time. There must be specific time for this study. And if we do it that way, we'll be able to do the needful. Place of study. We must have a place where we can go to study. When we get there, we're here for a business. Yes, we may be extra busy, but then if we don't have a designated place of study, we may not be making the best use for this study. So, the most important thing is to identify and have a place. Maybe library, it may be restroom, may not be, the bedroom may not be too good because little time sleep will come. But we need to identify one good place. When we enter there, we know. We look at our time to say how many minutes or how many hours have I spent there. What materials do we need to study? I may not go into that. But the methodology of studies is where I will be very, very interested. Most of us that study don't practice the act of reading. Very important. Because when you don't practice the act of reading, it affects the entire thing we are doing. How many words can we read in a minute? Very important. If you can read like 200 words in a minute, and then consistently work on that and gradually improve on it, that means we'll be sure of finishing up to between 10 to 12 books in a year. But when we're not sure of how many minutes we are reading, it's a big problem. Of course, I don't need to talk to students to know that they must attend lectures and they must do the needful when they're in class. Take notes and all that. We must tackle our assignments and make sure assignments are done properly. Tools, major tools for remembering what we have read. That's what I call visual, audio, and kinetic methods. And this is going to guide us a lot because it has to involve skill. The sight, the hearing, and the speech. 20% of what we read, we remember. 20% of what we read. 30% of what we hear, we can remember. 40% of what we see is what we can remember. 50% of what we say, very important for our studies. 60% of what we do helps helps us in the exam. But if we want to make good success, 90% of what we see, plus what we say, and what we do. And that's what that student will be, an overall student. To have remembered 90% of what the student have seen, had, and has done. So it's a practical thing. Sometimes we need to go all the way and to assess ourselves on what we do. Now, we have a problem where people, when it is time for exam, they are battling it and all that. It's because they are not keeping this methodology properly. If this methodology is adhered and practiced, you don't have problem. In the first round, after each class, have 10 minutes of reviewing. 10 or say 5 minutes to 10 minutes to review what you have studied. After 24 hours, take another 5 minutes of what have been studied. The third one, after 1 week, take 10 minutes. After 1 month, take 10 minutes. After 6 months, take 3 minutes. This student will go to exam and perform creditably because they have kept the best. Nothing has dropped. We will not wait until the 9 minutes, then it starts hustling. No! The thing, as we are going, is coming back. It's pushing up. When this process is carried out effectively, exam will not be a struggling time. And we'll be surprised that probably before this time that person was non-achiever, but now he's an achiever. He begins to make impact, begin to win awards, begin to do great things. It is the plan of God that we become academic award winners. Thank you.